Namaste, namaskaram, vanakkam, namo namaha, Jai Ganesha. Please visit our website at classicalyoga.org. And there is a donate button. We need your help if you'd like to help us out. Today's podcast, Channa. Don't underestimate the power of the bean, the dry pea, the dry rice, the dry lentil. Let's make an acronym out of dry. Dharma, Rudra, Yamuna. We'll get back to that in a moment. Let's focus for a moment on these dry beans and peas and lentils. Apparently there's nothing going on there, but there's a tremendous potential inside, which just needs to be released. How? By adding fire and water. Think for a moment that you can take a kernel of rice that's been sitting for perhaps decades, a dry bean, channa, chickpea, peas, navy beans, black beans, kidney beans. And these dry beans have the potential to produce, with fire and water, food that sustains us. Reflect for a moment why, classically in weddings, Western weddings anyway, they throw rice. Potentiality, the potential of having a happy marriage. Think for a moment, in the Hindu puja, we always offer unbroken rice. Ever stop to consider why? It's symbolic of the potential that's inside of all of us. The Atmana. Just waiting to be uncovered to be realized. Remember, the Atmana, which is our Hindu word for soul, if you will, but it is different because the soul in English comes from psyche, which is still connected to the mind. The Atmana is not the mind, Atmana, nor the body, nor the emotions. It's temporarily residing within this body, mind, and emotions, just waiting to sprout, if you will, just waiting to be revealed by adding fire and water. I remember one Swami when I was a young monk saying, "Good luck if you think you're ever going to get Atma Darshana, soul realization, spiritual realization." Puzzling at first. Then he made it clear, well, you won't get it because you already have it. Aha. You just need to uncover it. You need to do the necessary practices and lifestyle that will reveal the potential that's already inside of you, inside of everyone, even our many animal friends. So how do we uncover, unfold, release this potential inside of all of us? Well, this is actually, in general, the purview of religion and spirituality. Remember, religion starts first. Those are the methodologies to uncover this potential spirit within. We Hindus say Atma Darshana. So choose your path. Choose an established religious path, or perhaps create a brand new one, but it would be new. So we've chosen, obviously, the Hindu yoga dharma, the Hindu religion, Hinduism. And within this profound Hindu dharma, all the methodology is there to be used. But again, it's like a knife. It can just sit on the counter. It doesn't do any good unless we pick it up and use it. A tool doesn't do any good unless we pick it up and use it. Within the Hindu yoga dharma, we have all of these wonderful tools, these implements. But unless we pick them up and use them, ineffective. No unfoldment. The potentiality lies in its potential state, never manifesting. So let's look in general, and then specifically within the Hindu yoga dharma. Remember, always understand the huge difference, right, between generalities and specifics. So in general, This can be a general life process and within the specific religions of the world, and then to be specifically recognized for the way in which they express these ways of unfoldment, if you will. So in life in general, it makes sense to start off with a good foundation of being an ethical person, trying to be honest, just do the right thing, and serve others. And think if we all serve others, then we're being served too. There's the beauty of it. And then whatever you choose to do in life, exercise 100% devotion to it, to a person, to your sport, your hobby, your activity, your profession, your religion. And then deepen your concentration. And if you keep doing this process, you will unfold the inner state of enlightenment. In light we're meant to be. Uncovering the inner essence, which we Hindus again call the Atmana. Now, let's look at an acronym, EDME. ED is abbreviation for education, me, ed-me. So if we follow these 4 steps, ethics, devotion, meditation, which is simply concentration, keep repeating this and we have the ongoing experience of more enlightenment rather than being in dark, in ignorance, covered up. EDME, ethics, devotion, meditation, enlightenment. Now you can find these played out, obviously, in the various religions of the world. They all have their ethics, their ethical codes of conduct. They have their devotions. And then it's up to the individual to exercise their concentration, their meditation. And then they have their inner epiphanies, their unfoldments, their inner experiences. Now, specifically, we have to respect how the different religions do that. As Hindus, we specifically follow this 4-step process in a successive order of karma yoga, which is Hindu ethics and selfless service. Bhakti yoga, which are Hindu devotions. Raja yoga, which are Hindu meditations or contemplations. And then Jnana yoga, the inner state of enlightenment. Karma, Bhakti, Raja, Jnana. These are the 4 classic yogas that constitute the Hindu yoga dharma. And within those 4, we have Hatha yoga, Hindu devotional postures, mantra yoga, Hindu devotional chants, japa yoga, Hindu devotional chants on beads, amala, nada yoga, Hindu divine music, kirtan, bhajans, nata yoga, Hindu divine dance, nataraja, the divine dancer. And this all stimulates the inner unfoldment, the inner awakening, Kundalini yoga. Now, in the beautiful complexity that is the Hindu yoga, religious, spiritual, scientific, philosophical lifestyle, we also understand this unfoldment process with the unfoldment of the chakras inside of all of us. So we start with a good grounding, first chakra, earth element. We are grounded in the Dharma. We've chosen our path. Remember, it's up to us to choose. You can choose any of the religious paths, but then you commit and you stick, especially if you ever want to teach anybody else. That's why all the religions of the world are taught by qualified members of said religion. That should be common sense. So we start with a good grounding. We are following Hindu Dharma. And then we understand the second chakra of the water element. This is the respect for the mothers also. The water element is always for the Matajis. The fluidity of life. Life is fluid. It moves in snake-like, wave-like movements. That's why Mahadev Shiva wears Nagdevata, the snake. And then we go up to the third chakra and exercise our willpower, our fire nature. Willpower. Without a strong will, we will not be very successful in life. So as we go through these chakras, Muladhara, earth element, which is also memory, never forgetting who we are, realizing that the Atmana is the potentiality inside waiting to be unfolded, so we're following the Dharma. And then we use the water element and the fire element. So let's look at dry again, dry beans, D-R-Y, Dharma, Rudra, the fire element, Yamuna, the water element, So with a grounding, earthiness, and water and fire, add water and fire to this dry being that comes out of the earth, out of the ground. And what do you get? You get the unfoldment. You get soul food as we enter into the Anahata chakra, the heart chakra. As Hindus, we call this the Utbhava Lingam, the seat of the Atmana, the unfoldment of inner love. It's not for nothing that we associate the heart with love. That's where we feel it as we experience the expansive feeling of love, and also when we so-called fall out of love, we feel crushed at the heart. And we send people hearts at Valentine's Day because that's where we experience it. So we take a dry, apparently lifeless being from the earth, and we add water and we add fire, and we get a meal. As we start from the ground up, following our chosen path, our dharma, being earthy, grounded, remembering who we are, seeking that potentiality, we add the water element, second chakra, which is also logic and reasoning. Very important. We add the third element of fire, the willpower, Manipura chakra, the gem center. And that opens up and unfolds the potentiality inside, the unfoldment of the Atma. That's why we say in Hinduism, Atma Darshana Paramo Dharma. Along with our other important duties of life, Dharma, our supreme param duty is to see, envision, experience, darshana, the Atmana. Atma Darshana Paramo Dharma. This is the natural unfoldment process that's happening to all of us to one degree or another. However, when we become very cognizant of this process, we really hasten the process. It's like learning to cook. Now, obviously, we're all growing physically, mentally, and emotionally, but we can put more wisdom and intelligence into this growth process and develop our bodies, our mental capacity, our emotional understanding. So too, as we go through this life process, we can focus more intently on each of these areas of life. For example, in the development, the unfoldment of the chakras, and they're all inside of us. It's whether they're unfolded or not. That's why we liken them to both a lotus bud, which can either be in the bud state, in the declining state, hanging down, or the unfoldment state. So too, chakra literally means wheel, and the wheel can either be stationary or flat, or moving forward or moving backwards. We can use these energies in a positive or a negative way. So we go through these very naturally in our life. From 0 to 7 is the first chakra, memory. Think of what we can do from 0 to 7. We can learn an entire language or two. 7 to 14, the second chakra, puberty hits. Third chakra, 14 to 21, and all of you parents know that your children start to develop a strong will, which is necessary to carry them through into an adult life. This is why it must be guided, so that one uses their will in a positive way, not in a negative way, not in a won't way. In other words, not transforming our willpower into won't power. We can positively make an acronym out of will. Will is losing laziness. Lazy Hindus, L-A-Z-Y, lose, zero, yoga, etc., etc., etc. Paradoxically, Hindus can be very focused and intent in their academic studies and be very, very lazy in protecting the Hindu yoga, the dharma. Proof positive today, what's happened? How the Hindu yoga dharma has been so distorted due to laziness and a very confused universalism. Now, in the Hindu yoga dharma, we have several deities that serve as inspirations, role models of what it is to uncover this potential inside, this warrior spirit. These are heart chakra deities. Skanda Muruga, Hanumanji, Sri Krishna, they're all youthful, loving warriors. And Durga Ma, as she rides Bengal, the tiger of life, conquering the passions, having an indomitable will. This is absolutely necessary to accomplish anything in life. But especially in the Hindu yoga dharma, one has to have an indomitable will, never ever giving up. In fact, the only time we really lose in life is when we quit. As long as we keep trying, we're always successful. Of course, there's nothing wrong with quitting bad things, but when we have something good, we need to hold on to it. So now as we look at these different youthful, loving warrior deities, let's look at Skanda, Muruga, Kartikeya, Subramanyam. Many different names for different attributes. So as the warrior deity, Skanda, his very creation story was to defeat the evil demon Taraka. And he's the son of Shiva and Parvati. Interestingly, and he's the brother to Mahaganapati. Look how this beautiful symbolism works out. So Ganapati is always associated with the first chakra, the earth element, the elephant, memory. Ma Parvati is the second chakra, the water element. Shiva as Rudra's fire is the third chakra. And then the fourth chakra, therein resides Sanmukhanada, Muruga, Skanda, Kartikeya, Subramanyam. He's known as Sanmukhanada, the sixth-faced deity. Look at the beautiful puzzle pieces here. With the foundation of Ganesha, consciousness, first chakra. The second chakra is the water element, which is often symbolized by the triangle pointing down, the water. Third chakra is often symbolized by the triangle pointing up, fire. What happens when you bring the two triangles together? You get what Hindus call the Shad Konam, the six-angled star, later also found within Judaism, the Star of David. And this happens to be the yantra, the mystical diagram of the heart chakra for Muruga. So in other words, with a foundation, an earthy foundation, being established in the Dharma, when we add water and fire, we come up to the heart. When we take a dry bean, we are established in the Dharma. We add fire and water, Rudra and Varuna, Yamuna. We get the heart chakra opening, the unfoldment of Atma Darshana. So the next time you take your dry beans, your channa, your lentils, pause a moment and think about your own unfoldment. Adding the fire and the water. And as Hindus, Ganesha, Ma Parvati, Rudra, Shiva, to unfold the inner warrior, the Atma Darshana, the youthful, loving warrior that's inside of all of us, the potential that's there. If we become an inner chef, remember, chef means chief. Find your own inner guru by respecting the outer gurus. Find your own inner teacher by respecting the outer teachers. And then pass on this wisdom to others. So from this moment on, you'll never look at Channa in the same way. You'll never look at a dry lentil, a dry bean in the same way. It'll remind you of this purpose of life, this spiritual unfoldment. That's why we are here. Tattvamasi aham brahmasmi, jyoti shakti ananda shanti. As we go from untruth to truth, from our ignorance to a more enlightened state of being, unfolding the inner nectar within. Asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam kamaya, om. Then there is shanti, shanti, shanti.